Okay, welcome to the Is This the Entertainment, the podcast, with your host,
The Welcome,
the Benjamin M. Owens,
the Jacob Aaron
the That
Miller,
the That Jacob Aaron. And what are you going to do?
That's right. Hey man, how are you?
I'm feeling better, feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm still having some issues with my ear. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Just squirt a whole bottle of peroxide in there. It's the only thing I know to do.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad idea.
I actually I do it. Dilute the peroxide down to about 1% or a little less, because it can be a little much in your ear. Yeah, so I've got all the swelling out of my middle ear, but my inner ear is still not up to par yet. So we'll see.
We'll get you there.
Yeah, it's been a fun, gross journey. Yeah, I'm sure that's what people are here for. Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely. Look, you're going to get a quick medical update on us before we start talking about stuff. And you're also going to find out what we're eating, because that's important.
That's right. Yeah, it wouldn't be an entertainment podcast.
I bought a pineapple.
Yeah.
Right, I bought a pineapple yesterday, cut it up. It was really good.
I'm really proud of you.
Some of that fresh pine. Here's the thing, man. $5 to get the already cut pineapple. $2.50 to get the pineapple and cut it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is I used to be the guy that just bought the pre-cut pineapple. Mm-hmm. And now I'm thinking about how much money I could have saved if I had just bought the pineapple and cut it myself.
Yeah, they have that tool that like decores it. You know what I'm talking about? You just stick it in there.
Yeah, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, that's the way. I
just get a big knife and go to town.
No, just get the tool just one time. Done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of pineapple in Thailand. Oh man, so sweet.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine.
You're missing out. You're all missing out. They have teeny pineapples over there. They're like little teeny ones, and they're even more. They're even more sweet. Huh? Yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah.
I heard a story about some Dole tried to make like a pink pineapple as a fun thing. Now I'm hearing this story. This is like a third-hand type story, so I don't.
Go ahead.
Hey.
What about a pineapple?
So I guess Dole pineapple people tried to make a pineapple that would be pink on the inside, but then something happened and it made it like hella rare. So people were like super excited about them, but there weren't that many of them, so they were tough to get. And then the people who finally got them were like super excited, and then it turns out it tastes exactly like a pineapple. It's just pink. There's zero difference. So there was some disappointment there.
What did they expect? I thought that was the selling point. It's pink.
I don't know. I think the idea was that maybe it was supposed to be like juicier, you know, maybe a little bit more flavorful. But pineapple's already very flavorful. I don't know if you could genetically
modified pineapple
more flavorful. I guess
to be pink.
I need to read up on this.
So the irony here is that the genetically modified pineapple is created to fight cancer? Is this what we're talking about right now?
Oh gosh, who knows?
Is that why it was pink?
Pink pineapples. All right. Pink pineapples are a thing. This is from delish.com. Two guys Googling stuff.
Oh, roll it.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, actually. I don't have I can. Wait.
Let's talk about He-Man.
Should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Why not?
He-Man.
Remember the music? It was like, dun-na. Yeah. I love that music, man. He-Man. It was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Guess what it's called now?
Masters of the Universe.
You are correct. Guess who's not in this show, Barry?
Yeah, I'm not going to guess because you already told me.
Yeah.
He-Man, I guess?
Yeah. There's been a little bit of uproar on the internet about this. Yeah. It's not doing so good on the Netflix. Usually their shows stay in the top 10 for a while when they have a new show, but this one's already off of that. So there's a lot of changes here. I haven't watched it myself, but even the costumes changed. Let's look at the old He-Man. Old He-Man. Is it a costume? Outfit? I don't know. It's work.
Oh, that's super old.
Yeah.
When did He-Man come out originally?
Look at this.
The 50s?
Look, he looks very effeminate here. This was the movie. Maybe I shouldn't use the word costume. wardrobe.
Oh, that thing. Ooh, no, go to the
There
Dolph
it
Lundgren.
is.
What's on the Dolph Lundgren?
You don't remember him playing He-Man? It's like a skull.
No, I do.
Boros.
Vividly. Okay.
Yeah, it's a, what do they call it? Ouroboros, the thing that eats itself, eats its tail, but in this case, there's two snakes eating each other. It's like...
So like the thing from the Neverending Story?
Yeah, the thing from, all of reality, from all ancient civilizations. Yeah, except that for some reason there's two.
But the Neverending Story.
And the Neverending, yes. Also, Is this, I'm just curious, because I don't really know in the modern context of things, this symbol on He-Man's, this symbol, look at that.
Right.
What does that mean in modern context?
I don't know.
Is this like a supremacist type of symbol?
Oh, have I seen that?
You can't say.
Oh, that'd be dicey if you did.
Because I feel like it has been co-opted as something that's bad. Although historically speaking,
right,
of course, something good being destroyed by modern society. But yeah, I think it has been destroyed.
People can ruin a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So this is traditionally, from what I understand, the Knights Templar symbol. They're supposedly dead. Supposedly died, were executed according to some documentary or whatever. But for whatever reason, it's also a degree that you can get in a certain particular society. You can get that's still around with the same symbol and everything. So you'll see that there as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but to compare that to the new,
one, the new. Is that like an M? Is that an H? What is that?
It's an M and an H, I think is what they did there.
Man.
Yeah. Very clever. Yeah.
Could you imagine now could you imagine the room of dudes,
the conversation that had to happen
in like 1970, 60, whatever it was when He-Man started?
Oh, yeah.
The room of dudes who was like, hold on, I got to get a date on this. Two guys Googling stuff.
Googling stuff.
What do you guys think of the new Two Guys Googling Stuff music? Is anybody, what do you think? But, I put a good 30 minutes of effort into that. So, let me know.
Yeah. He-Man, Masters of the Universe. The first wave of action figures was 1982. All right, year I was born. Original action figures and mini comics 1981 to 82. Okay, great. According to Wikipedia, very quick Googling. So, it's 1979, 1980. You got a bunch of toy executives in a room, and they're like, what do we do next? What do we do? At this point, has Transformers already happened? Has G.I. Joe's already a thing? Definitely. So, like, what's the next? And they're like, what if it's this, like, big, bulky, like, Conan the Barbarian type? And what are we going to name him? Well, what's the most masculine thing we can think of? All right. Well, He-Man. It is both amazing and lazy. It's the most laziest, but also just like, oh yeah, He-Man, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, because my entire life, He-Man has been a thing. So I don't question it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, He-Man.
Yeah. And they were like, what should we put on this chest?
Oh, what if we do, you know what? I was in college, I was in this weird thing, and we had this like kind of interesting cross thing above the door.
Don't get it twisted. All these guys are in the same club.
Yeah.
They're
that's
all in
true.
the same club.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving
1980.
Right,
yeah, definitely.
yeah. We want to instill values in people, and we also want to show them real symbols and confuse the hell out of them at the same time.
So they changed it for the Dolph Lundgren movie.
Yeah,
I didn't
but they
even
still
realize
used an ancient symbol for that, which was what we said earlier. Like a broken apart.
Maybe they were like, hey,
Ouroboros.
let's just use some. So yeah, maybe maybe by then it was already being kind of like, used for some not so great purposes.
Some supremacist. Certain type.
What are your thoughts on? Because I have like this much recollection of the cartoon. I remember I remember being mad at my mom because she was like, we have to go somewhere. And I was like, but I'm in the middle of watching a He-Man cartoon. And I said something like really mean.
Aww.
And she was like, hey, that's really mean.
Aww.
And I don't think you mean that. And like, so we had like a real conversation about like words, saying mean things matters.
Yeah.
And
you committed violence against your mother. You didn't know it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty
you
much.
did physical damage to her.
Yeah.
With your words.
Well, maybe. I don't know. You know, whatever it wasn't kind.
No.
Sure.
No. I was being, of course, sarcastic. That never happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what? So, and I remember having the toys, and I remember the movie coming out, being excited about the movie, and then being like, "Where's Gore? Who is Gwildor? He's not Gorko.
Orko is the one
floaty
with the
guy with the hat.
Yeah, Orko.
Orko.
Yeah.
Spell that.
Orko. I don't know. O-R-C-O or K-O.
K-O.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. What did I say? I said something dumb. Like I said,
it doesn't
Goro,
matter.
who's the final boss from Mortal Kombat. It's not important.
Yeah, but
I remember being very disappointed in the Masters of the Universe movie because A, it took place mostly on Earth, which I realize now was for mainly budgetary concerns, and 2, it didn't have Orko in it. And also, again, budgetary concerns. They weren't going to have a floating guy.
Right.
That wasn't in the budget.
A floating guy with no face and a hat that just sort of sits on a blank head.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That wasn't going to happen. I think
Also,
what we'll do
looking
here.
back, Man at Arms, way too old.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about watching this just for entertainment purposes. It's gotten really like review bombed hard. Like people really dislike this show, and I think there's only like 6 episodes. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna watch it. Maybe we can make a video together. I don't know. I think we're gonna try it with Suicide Squad, see if that works. And then maybe we'll do a full review of this new He-Man. But speaking of Orko and his fun hat, you know who else he looked like? Let's see if I have an image of Orko. Do I have an image? Yeah, see Orko here. He looks like the wizard in Final Fantasy. Do you remember that? You don't remember.
Can't help you there.
Didn't play.
And which Final Fantasy number are we talking about? Are we talking about 3? We talking
Final Fantasy
at Wizard.
Nintendo. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yep, there it is. That is Orko, 100%.
Looks dead up like Orko.
What's the year on this guy?
With 85-ish.
Who stole from who? Whom? Would that be a whom? I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. Release date. Now it did come out on the Super Famicom probably
Which
first.
Final Fantasy is it?
The first one.
This is Final Fantasy 1?
Yes. This is graphics from it here. Look at that. This was like the main bad here. It was so fun. And then you select what you want to do, like fight, cast a spell, drink, use an item. And your guy will just go and like do this and then it'll be like, and then do damage. It sounds really dumb now in retrospect. It was kind of like playing Dungeons and Dragons, but with yourself.
Right. So I never played any Final Fantasy games at all. So I need you to like walk me through the experience.
So
here.
these games are very story driven, which is what I loved about it. So you're effectively reading a book while playing a game. So you're walking around talking to people and stuff comes up on the screen and you're reading all this text. So much text you're reading, like it's ungodly. Like now I don't think, I don't know if you can stomach it, but yeah, you're reading just tons of text. Like you're reading a book and you're playing a game. It's like an interactive book. It reminds me kind of like a choose your own adventure book. And it's sort of an open world, but I mean, you're very limited in where you can go, but you know, it feels open because you can go anywhere. It's one of the first games where you can just sort of walk around and just do whatever you want. And you're not forced down like a straight and narrow path. So it felt open. The date, release date. There you go. 1987.
All right.
Okay. So they stole the Black Mage from Orko over here. Oops,
or
wrong one.
did they just put a hat on a Jawa?
Right, yeah, because Jawas were around. Yeah. It's just, it looks like a Jawa with a blue robe and a hat. Yeah. I mean, wizards were a thing. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's not like wizards just got invented.
So Gandalf happens upon a pack of Jawas. They barter his hat.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean,
They swap a droid. He gives them a hat, and then they get to pass around a hat.
They're like, okay, how are we going to design this character, right? They're like, he's a black mage. Should he have a black outfit? No, let's just make him black.
Guys,
literally,
we have 20 minutes. We got 20 minutes. All right, we forgot to make this character.
We got
20 minutes.
20 minutes and
Quick.
32 pixels. Go.
And 32 pixels. Okay, we don't have enough pixels to make an outline of a person. So what if we just do the hat and then floating eyes and a body and tiny little hands, always ready for punchings, and we're done. Like we spent all of our pixels on the arms.
I'm looking at it, and it might be closer to like 64 or 128 pixels, but yeah, it's very limited here.
Now, so this was a Nintendo game. This was not a computer game.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
because for some reason in my mind, I had always associated this with computer games.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy VII was the first one to come out on PC, but it was after it had already come out on. So originally, Final Fantasy games were on Nintendo and Super Nintendo with these sort of open world walk around, sort of pixelated characters and stories like that. And then when it went to Final Fantasy VII, is when they switched over to PlayStation, and it was a little more 3D looking, and it was on PlayStation for a while, and then they released it on PC after that, like maybe a year after.
Gotcha.
And then you could play it on your PC as well. So it just sort of expanded that way. And now I think Final Fantasy is on, it's mainly computer games now. Yeah, from what I understand.
Okay.
So
each, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2, the stories are completely different. There's no overlap. It's not a direct sequel.
They're not sequels, no. But they sort of take place in similar type of work where there's just like magic and stuff like that. And as the games progressed, they sort of blended magic and technology. So you'd have like magical characters and then like guys with like laser arms or whatever, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's like bio whatever. Gotcha. I don't know.
So, like in Mortal Kombat, in the movie, when Jax finds his chi and then grows the arms,
characters like that, stuff like that, or like big guns or whatever, and so they went from like that with like, so it's like this alternate world where it's just like sort of like castles and dungeons and airships, like so they had the technology sort of in the old ones, but it was not like the forefront. It was just sort of this, there's an airship, of course, but it's got this like big propeller looking thing.
So if memory serves, is Final Fantasy VII like the big one? Is that the one that like they ended up doing a sequel to? It was like 7-2 or something?
I think so. I think they did. I think because the guy with the spiky hair, the blonde spiky hair, his name is Cloud.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. People just like that character. So I think he's in multiple Final Fantasy games. So I think there's some kind of continuation. I only played the ones on Nintendo, really. I did play Final Fantasy VII on the computer, but I don't remember too much about it. But for some reason, they like this guy. He's got the giant sword.
So then the movie. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, the movie is like a totally unrelated story. I just don't really get it. Yeah. All right.
So let's talk about my favorite Nintendo game.
Which is?
Mario 3.
I think that's the only image I have.
It might be my favorite video game ever. It might be the best video game ever made.
Why? Why do you say that?
For a long time said, here's the thing. When in anticipation for having this conversation, I was like, why is this my favorite game ever? And then I started to think about like real concrete reasons. I don't have any. Don't have a single one. Like, it's the first game that I really got into. That's probably it. So it is purely like emotional, like unobjective,
non-logical.
Like,
Well, I mean, it was obviously like a good game. It sold a crap load, and
it was wonderful. It's fun. It was a great game. I would play it right now if I had it. And it took some of the fun stuff with Mario 1 and just like cleaned it up and added some new things like the squirrel suit where he can fly. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of hidden stuff.
Yeah.
As far
a
as
lot
like
of secrets. Yeah.
A lot of secrets, a lot of backdoors, a lot, finding the warp whistles and like going to school and being like, oh, you got to go to like level 3 and then go to the white block, the third white block, and then duck down. And if you hold down for a long enough period of time, you'll drop below the screen. You'll run behind everything.
How did we all figure that out? How did we all find that out? Was it because we had like Nintendo Power? Or was it just like we all just psychically connected like, hey, maybe if you just duck behind this thing.
Was it in like a magazine?
Yeah.
Was it in a magazine and then one kid learned it and then it just like
told everyone
wildfire?
Else. Yeah.
It's nobody ever said blowing on the cartridge works, but we all did it.
Yeah, this was pre-internet, so like it just makes you wonder like how do these things just permeate society? Like certain sayings, certain like weird obscure things in video games, just all kind of stuff,
Right.
Are we just connected to some sort of psychic internet somewhere? Like
it's that 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon mixed with like Malcolm Gladwell's, like you've got people who are influencers and then people who are connectors.
Right.
And then, you've got, if an influencer knows enough connectors, then, things get spread and whatever.
He seems like a very smart guy. Yeah. That Malcolm Gladwell.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy.
I think I read one of his books. I can't remember.
But yeah, I read Blink. And that one was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I don't remember anything from it. Must have been great. I've got to get this memory problem fixed. Is it too late for me now?
It's that.
I can't give up.
Probably not. It's never too late. Never too late.
Did we have a song about that or something? I think we should redo all the Born Yesterday stuff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think we should just record it and put it out like as like just a little EP or something.
Sure.
I don't know. No? All right, or new stuff. I was playing. I got out
the old stuff and clean it up.
I got the acoustic guitar out. I got it out the other day. We sat outside, and me and Prowl were looking up songs, and we started playing cover songs. We played like Rita Ora.
Sweet.
We played what's that? 4 or 5 seconds.
Some current stuff.
4 or 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was
5
fun.
Seconds.
So fun.
From Wilden.
Yeah, from Wilden. I don't even know. Wilden.
Yeah.
I thought it was Wilden.
Wilden.
I don't even know. We played that. That was fun.
I feel like it's short. It's slang for Wilden.
Oh my gosh. It's just sometimes you gotta know. 4 5. It is Wilden.
Right.
There you go.
Wilden. We're just not putting that hard D in there.
Wilden. Yeah, Wilden. Yeah. This one was fun too. Final Fantasy III. That was the Super Nintendo. The graphics believe it or not, these graphics are a little better. And something really magical about the Super Nintendo were the sounds that were built into it. It had some really higher quality sounds. And the music in Final Fantasy was amazing. Like there was a whole just era of music from Final Fantasy. There's something about it. It's kind of like Star Wars vibes. It just feels good like listening to it. It's kind of got that orchestral thing going and it's just epic. Epic
but like
music.
16-bit.
But 16-bit and very limited on the amount of sounds, but still somehow managed to pull off like an epic score, this guy.
Nice.
Yeah. That was like really the thing. And speaking of music in video games, another one that did it for me was Ninja the Gaiden. Or it's just Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, this game has some great music. It's just like so action packed, and that was on Nintendo, like regular old Nintendo. And
I remember playing this game at my cousin's house on the Sega Master System, which was the pre-Genesis 8-bit. Yeah.
The equivalent,
very cool system. The equivalent
of Nintendo,
the Sega equivalent. Right. Did not get nearly as much run as the Genesis did.
Yeah.
But man, that was a cool system. It had this game, it had a Rocky game that was very cool. And there was like a 3D game where you could wear the glasses.
Oh.
But if you weren't wearing the glasses, you had no idea what was going on. Yeah, pretty much.
Something about this game that was really amazing was the cutscenes. So like you'd be playing and like you'd like beat a level or whatever, like get to the end of the level, kill the boss, and then like it would be like, you know, the music would just be like super intense, and then like the background would be on a different plane than the foreground, so they would slide across to like kind of give you this like intense like action feeling.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And it was just super awesome. At the time there was nothing like it. It was like, and then of course you would have to read the text because there's no audio, you know, not enough space on the cartridge to have people talking. So you had to read the story, and it was this like intense like thriller like conspiracy story about the end of the world. Like this stuff really like kind of fits with sort of like, what's going on now kind of maybe in a way. But it was very intense and like it was pretty wild, like a wild story. Yeah. Did you get very far
it's
in this
interesting game? Oh gosh, no, not at all. So our approach to video games is very different, because the games that I remember playing and was really into, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario,
jumping on things type
the games where you just
scroll.
go from left to right. Yeah, side scroll game. Is there a story? Barely. You know, collect rings, collect coins, jump on things.
Yeah, I was very much into
move
this.
To the next level.
I was very much into the storytelling of things, music.
Yeah, you've got like a story and like, you know, end of the world.
Yeah, apparently I've always been into this stuff. Yeah, like even Final Fantasy, like they climb. I don't remember which Final Fantasy, but effectively you climb the Tower of Babel. Like that's the end of the game. You know, I think it's one of the ones on Game Boy. I think, you know, back in the day, you basically like it's crazy, right? Yeah, it's just all this old school, mysterious, weird stuff they put in these games. You know, yeah. Anyway.
Maybe my mentality when putting a game on has just been to zone out and mash buttons.
Oh yeah.
And yours is to like
just be completely just become the game, like become involved in the game, like live in the world. Yeah. Immerse myself.
I remember being invested in like when you beat the game, like when you would beat Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat, you would get like
I don't think I ever beat. I may have beat Mortal Kombat. That was a hard game. And Street Fighter 2.
Game.
Hard, yeah.
None harder than Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Mike Tyson's insane. Yeah. I could get all the way up to Mike Tyson.
Anybody who beat that game without like pausing it now, like the only way you can beat that game now is to like have an emulator where you can pause. Anybody who beat that in real time is a liar.
Right. Yeah, I remember getting all the way up to Mike Tyson, just always getting knocked the F out. Like it was pretty tough, like man. Easy is not the right word, but like you could get in a route like where it's pretty simple, not simple, but like you get in a rhythm where you get through and you just plow through everybody because you know how to beat everybody, you know, and then you get to Mike Tyson and
then with Mike you literally just have to like dodge over and over and over again, and then like
get like one
after
hit
30 seconds you get one hit in, and then you got to go back into that sequence of dodging for another 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you miss, you know, if he hits you twice, you're down. You're just done. And that's it.
Speaking of getting hit once and getting knocked down, my wife and I have been watching Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
How about that transition? Yeah.
Finally watched it. Finally jumped in on the Warrior show.
We are about halfway through season 2. Spoilers. He fights in a tournament and they build this guy up. Like he's like the Dolph Lundgren bad guy, like they build him up for like the whole episode. And you're like, oh, this is going to be the big bad of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then he's the first guy. He's the first guy he fights, and the guy runs up to him and he hits him once, and the guy goes down. Just to show you how awesome
this was. Splendid.
Just how awesome this guy is.
Also, I'm pretty sure before they fought, like that other dude like killed a guy.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, they spent the whole episode showing how tough this guy was, and then the lead character here, his name is Awesome. I mean, Assam, and yeah, little cheesy there, and the madam of the madam, her name is Atoy. Yeah, a little winky with the names, but the story itself is a lot of fun, and well, the first season anyway. The second season, all of my shows, I feel like we're losing the protagonist. Like there's just no protagonist anymore. They're just, it's just, what's happened? They're just people you don't really like, and you just watch it to see if they die or not. Like, I feel like that's like what's happening with like every TV show right now.
Yeah, I think this second season really kind of like, I think part of the point of the season is watching him go a little too far and, you know, setting him up to come back
And redeem himself later.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like, you know, what are your ultimate goals here? You know, because it's not what you set out at the beginning, and, you know, how much are you losing yourself in this whole gangland?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, this show was created by Bruce Lee before he died. He had an idea for a show. I believe he wrote maybe one episode and had an outline, and he was supposed to play this main character, Assam, and then they fleshed it out and made the show. And Ben mentioned all of this in the previous podcast, so if you were listening, you knew that already. And it turns out the show, the first season anyway, I will say is very well executed and written. The second one I'm having some issues with. It's really hard to get through. It's just so depressing.
Can we talk about that, where they just kind of get stuck in that, like,
Reno,
in that town?
Yeah. Reno before
was it Reno?
I imagine it's near where Reno was, you know, before Reno existed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And then he straight up like ripped that dude's throat out.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a great episode.
And
that was a wonderful, like, kind of one-off. It had nothing to do with like the plot going on. It was just it was just a character
development episode.
Side mission. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I really liked that.
They really become brothers, you know, I think, in that episode. I think that's
definitely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was actually my favorite one, I think, of the first. I don't really have much to say. Like, there was a couple moments where I was like, I think he would have died there, you know, where he's just sitting there, like, in front of everybody that has guns, you know. I mean, it's just unrealistic.
Right.
He's so confident and just ridiculous. But I guess that's kind of how, like, a Bruce Lee movie would be. For me, they nailed the Western vibe in the first season. And then the second season, I feel like it's sort of just taken a turn, and it feels like a modern show. And it doesn't feel like the thing that they made originally. I don't know if it's just like different writing or what, but it's the aesthetic is different in the second season. Like the costumes, they're more fancy, more modern. Like, it's just like, what are you doing here? You know,
a little brighter, a little cleaner. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It just felt like it feels like a different show almost. But everything is
right.
You say brighter, but like the show itself is darker. Season 2.
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking like in the costume and realm.
And then they changed that girl's. I wasn't even sure in the first season that steel mill didn't seem like it was that girl's in the first season. And then like, oh, it's hers in the second season.
It was her father's.
Okay, and he died.
Yeah,
I see.
It was her father's, and then her father died. Yeah.
Okay, now it all makes sense. Okay, I'm a little slow. Sometimes I get things wrong. Yeah, but it just felt weird. But I guess that makes sense. Her father died. And just like everybody turning on everybody, like everybody being terrible. That, I think, is what's bothering me the most. Like, there's no redeeming person that's like a good person or trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
In the second season, it's everybody is making the wrong decision constantly. And I feel like that's like television right now. Like every show, like even on Disney, like WandaVision, like she's just constantly, she's not really a good person. You know what I mean? Like, she's not really doing a good thing, you know? It's like, she's the main character of the show.
Right.
You know, it's like, what is happening? Where's the, like, you know, where's the He-Man that teaches you ethics and morals and, you know, those kinds of things.
Right.
Where's that at? Because that's what He-Man was. It was like teaching like life lessons and all these kinds of things, and how it was great toys, you know.
Right. I mean, that's what all of those were. That's what, you know, G.I. Joe, you know. And, and the
and now
Transformers.
And now it's so weird. Like, the main character of this new He-Man gets upset after he dies. She gets upset that she finds out that Prince Adam is also He-Man and takes offense. And you're supposed to feel sorry for her.
Okay.
And then the whole show is about her.
Well, I mean, if you find out that your friend has been lying to you for, you know,
but that he's He-Man and he had to keep it a secret for a reason. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, the guy died. And the thing that you're upset about is that he lied to you about being He-Man. You know?
Yeah. Maybe she's expressing her sadness through anger.
Yeah, I'm just
Says
saying.
the guy who hasn't watched the show. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I've just, I've secondhanded this. So I mean, I'm kind of curious to watch it. Like, I really kind of want to watch it, but it's like, do I want to hate watch everything? Like, I'm
right.
just,
Yeah. Like, do I
want to subject myself to that?
Well, you could also just in the back of your mind think, what if all of these people on YouTube are wrong?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Like, it is possible they're wrong. Yeah,
right?
it could totally be the He-Man show with no He-Man in it. It could totally be that.
Well, yeah, and there's a portion of people on the internet who just like to not like things.
No, no.
Well, no, wasn't it? There was like some study that was basically like you get like five times more attention, or what the way to go viral is to not like something.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, if we just went in and talked about how
10
dumb
times the amount of attention online,
we could talk hardcore about how this symbol on his chest is really stupid. Get a lot of attention. How do you make an H and an M at the same time? Why would that be why would you? Yeah.
It looks like something from a Burger King.
It does. It looks like a handle for like a Happy Meal or something, or a lunchbox, or the side of a suitcase, or it kind of looks like the Batarang. Oh
yeah, just with some extra stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Totally unrelated.
Sure,
totally unrelated. This is gonna be a big left turn here.
Sure.
What was that game that you and I played? It wasn't World of Warcraft, but it was like pre-World of Warcraft. Starcraft.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was like, I think that's the only like open world game. Well,
that's not really open world. It's more of a strategy game.
A strategy conquering type game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only that type of game that I ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being bad at it.
Oh yeah,
but enjoying it.
Yeah, it was so fun, but I was bad at it too. Yeah, yeah.
The music in that game was good.
I feel like in a game like that,
I felt like the music was good, and
you gotta have good music.
Like when the creepy alien guys would attack, and just all the noises, and like I like for being like a bunch of like tiny little pixelated waspy figures, hornet looking guys or whatever. The music really made it like, oh god, they're destroying my whole town.
Yeah, it's like so immersive, 3D
all of my
sounding.
Factories, all of my factories are getting blown up with these like going on.
Yeah,
that game was intense. I remember enjoying it and thinking like I had like the disc in my desk. So, because I had it on one computer and then that computer died, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to put it on this other computer and I'm going to start over again. And I just never did it. And then it got to the point where I'm sure at this point I could like download it for like $1 somewhere and play it. And heck, I might. But yeah, Starcraft. Totally forgot about that game. So I might YouTube watch somebody like beat Starcraft or something. Just to experience some of those.
So there was a StarCraft 2, and it looks like they're talking about a StarCraft 3.
Okay.
No StarCraft 3. Okay. Maybe they can't. Oh, there's some trouble with Blizzard right now. Have you heard about this?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Apparently it's a toxic work environment, and I think the CEO just stepped down. Yeah. There'll be a StarCraft 3. Currently, there's no StarCraft 3 available as the game is far away from release. Okay. Is StarCraft 2 really free? The StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty story campaign is free in its entirety. We should totally play StarCraft 2. Maybe we can do that instead of a podcast, or we could do a podcast while we're playing StarCraft 2. So apparently there's a trailer for StarCraft 3, but no game. Blizzard is notorious for taking forever to make games. Yeah.
Right.
And did you ever play Warcraft?
Blizzard, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Because you saved a lot of time by not playing that game.
There's some people that I used to work with. There's some people I used to work with who would be like, yeah, I went home and I played World of Warcraft through the night, and then now I'm back for my shift. And I'd be like, are you okay? Do you need a coffee? Because that sounds
It's
dangerous.
so addictive.
There were people like dying from blood clots, right?
Or
Playing
not
the game too
eating,
long,
or like
eating
like
for too
heart
long.
problems. Yeah, like too much Mountain Dew, whatever. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
I think
much
what that
surge.
game did. I think what that game did was combine
Mountain
this.
Dew Code Red.
It combined the social element of that people crave. Like, we're social animals, right? So we need to like communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to play this game by
Right.
yourself in your house, but then talk to people, and meet new people and all that kind of stuff, but like with no
Create
danger.
a community.
Yeah. And so I think because it did those things so well that that's why it blew up so well. And that's why people always want to play it all the time. Is you get this sense of camaraderie when, like if I'm playing on my computer and you're playing on your computer and we're beating a guy together or whatever, it's just like this fun. It feels like we're doing something together, and it's like, why would you ever want to stop doing that, and you're leveling up constantly,
and you get the pings and the lights and the serotonins and all that stuff. The dopamine hits, I'm sure.
Yep. Tons of it. Yeah. So you're getting you're getting all of the enes. So you also like, what is the one you get from hugging people?
Lycopene.
Oh God. It's the one from
Serotonin.
I'm looking it up.
Two guys googling stuff.
This is ridiculous.
The hug drug. What's the hug drug? Type that in.
Oxytocin.
See what happens. Oxytocin.
Is that right? You get oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. So you're getting constant dopamine hits from playing the game. And then you also get the oxytocin and serotonin from the camaraderie and the playing with other people. So you're just getting everything all the time. So it's so stimulating that you just can't. It's super addictive. Super addictive. I remember I played it and I lost like 3 months. Like I was like, what happened to what?
Wow.
And all I wanted to do was play that game. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was just like, hey, when are we going to do the next thing? Let's go do, and you just go and you play with your friends and it was fun.
Yeah.
But it's sick. It's sick because you don't do anything else. You don't do anything productive. Like you'll spend all your time being productive in a game, but you won't do anything in your real life to be that productive. That's the weird thing about all of this gaming sort of environment, because you get instant feedback instead of like in real life it's like delayed feedback. So you're willing to do all of the building things and practicing and exercising or whatever it is, or all of those types of things that you wouldn't do in real life, because you get the instant dopamine plus you get a long-term benefit. So it's really hacked our brains. Another game that has a similar layout.
Ooh, sorry. One final thought. One final thought on World of Warcraft.
Sure.
It did give us one of the best viral moments in history with Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, which was, how come I don't know? I mean, I know Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, was he originally from Warcraft, and then he was in the. I don't remember the viral moment.
All I know is there
Leroy
there was a
Jenkins.
dude. Yeah, so there's like this whole group of people, and they're like, all right, here's the plan. We're going to go in, this person, you're going to do this person, you're going to do this. And the whole time there's this like character off to the side, and you can see his name, Leroy Jenkins. And then he basically just like bombs the plan. And so while this other dude's like calling the plays or whatever, he just yells Leroy Jenkins and runs in, guns blazing, and then they all kind of follow him because they're like, well, too late, we're fighting this battle now. So like zero stealth, and then they just get massacred. They just get completely massacred because of this one guy, just going completely rogue.
So something you should also know that's funny about this is that Blizzard also makes the game
Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Hold on.
They made Force Unleashed, right?
Hearthstone. Hearthstone is like a card game. Hearthstone.
Okay.
It's like a Magic the Gathering type game, but digital, and you just play it like a video game, but it's a card game. And there is actually a card.
This isn't the one with the Disney characters.
No, this is Blizzard, and this is World of Warcraft type characters, but a card game, like Magic the Gathering. Are you familiar with Magic the Gathering? Like a nerd Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm familiar with it. I've never played it.
Type card game. So it's like a strategy game. You play with cards, and one of the characters is Leroy Jenkins. He has his own card.
Leroy Jenkins.
How
That's wonderful.
Yeah. How great
Man.
is that?
Way to take something and ride with it.
Yeah, they just run with it. Yeah. And he says that. He does do the Leroy Jenkins when you play. Yeah, it's funny.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they just went with it. And speaking of World of Warcraft type games, Star Wars: The Old Republic has like a similar feel.
I need to play that game.
It's free. I think there's a free version of it. And it's so fun, and you get to be like a smuggler or a Jedi or whatever, and it's fun to play. It's just a little, I don't know. Maybe for me, maybe I'm too old for video games now. I don't know. Is that a thing? Like, I don't know. I know there's people my age that play.
Yes,
but
definitely.
Yeah, that's a fun game. And now it's like they like release major updates for these types of games. And like, look at this. This is crazy. All right, like this is the game, right? Like this is crazy. So this is new. Like they just recreate a whole like storyline and all these worlds and stuff. You can travel between worlds. Like it's a very open, big game.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild. It takes up a lot of space on your computer. I remember that. But you could play it, like me and you could get on there and play, and it'd be a lot of fun. And this is like the sandbox for Star Wars, They get to sort of just do whatever because it's the Old Republic, So
right.
it doesn't really matter,
Yeah, it's not going to affect the next movie coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that, I guess. Okay. I think we have a podcast in there somewhere.
I think so too.
So thanks for listening so far. It looks like make sure you're subscribed so you know when we put out our next podcast or video. I think we're going to put out a video on the Suicide Squad. So we'll do like a real video review of that maybe. So that could be fun. Yeah. And until next time, I guess it's just the bye. Is this the bye? Do you have anything you needed to say?
Thanks for listening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah. No, thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah.